This is everything I spent traveling down the island of Java for 2 weeks. Okay, so as I say, I'm breaking down absolutely everything I spent from the moment I landed in Java to leaving Java. I was there for 2 weeks in 4 different destinations. We're going to go through each destination really quickly, and I'm going to give you totals for everything at the end. Before we jump in, if you find this helpful or useful or anything like that, please drop a thumbs up down below and consider subscribing to my channel. I do full breakdowns of where I've traveled to help you guys travel more and more affordably, as well as doing travel vlogs. So jumping straight in, I spent 24 hours in Jakarta. I was meant to spend 2 days there. I didn't really like Jakarta in the end, so I spent 24 hours there. And in that time, I spent £23.89 on accommodation. I spent 28 pence on activities, which was to get into a museum. I spent £13.86 on local transport, and that includes going to and from the airport. I spent £12.74 on food, and so I spent a total of £50.77 in my 24 hours in Jakarta. Next stop was Yogyakarta, where I spent 3 days. I spent £19.55 on accommodation. I spent £38.85 on activities. I spent £24.86 on transportation. And I spent £12.50 on food. So that was a total of £95.76 in Yogyakarta. I also want to point out that transportation is both getting moped taxis and transportation around Yogyakarta, as well as renting a moped and paying for that and petrol. I then spent 4 days in Malang. I spent £25.58 on accommodation, £77.70 on activities. And those activities were my Mount Bromo day trip and my Tumpak Soi waterfalls day trip. Both of them were absolutely incredible. I did private tours. You can definitely do those cheaper. I just did them privately. I spent £9.95 on transportation around Malang, and I spent £17.60 on food, with a total of £130.83 for a total of 4 days in Malang. And final stop was Banyuwangi, where I spent 3 days. Accommodation was £41, a little bit more expensive, but this accommodation was absolutely gorgeous. Activities were £22.40. That was my Island Crater tour, which I did with a group of people. Local transportation was £8.13 and food was £19.58 for a total of £91.11 spent in 3 days in Banyuwangi. That also included moped rental. So that covers the 2 weeks down Java. Extras I spent were transportation getting between these cities. So I got a flight from Jakarta to Yogyakarta, a train from Yogyakarta to Malang, a train from Malang to Banyuwangi, and a bus from Banyuwangi to Bali. Total extra transportation came to £55.22. The biggest expense of that was the flight, which was £35. Because Jakarta was my first stop in Indonesia, I did have to get the visa on arrival, which cost me £27.65. And that is absolutely everything I spent down Java. So, how much did I spend in total down 2 weeks in Java? I spent a total of £110.02 on accommodation, £139.23 on activities, £112.02 on transportation, £62.42 on food, and £27.65 on the visa. And so 2 weeks traveling down Java, from the moment I landed in Jakarta to leaving getting on the bus to go to Bali, I spent £451.34. 2 weeks cost me less than my flight out into Asia. Travel can be so cheap. You don't need to go out to fancy restaurants. Go out to local street food markets and where the locals eat. Find cheaper places to stay. I stayed in hotels and hostels this whole time, and I felt safe in all of them. I have a standard for my accommodation because I'm traveling with my camera kit. For the activities, if you're with a group of people, you can spend less on the Tumpak Soi waterfall tour and the Mount Bromo tour. I booked them on my own instead of with a group. I could have got a group discount had I booked with a group. I just need you guys to know that travel can be so affordable. So that is my full breakdown of everything I spent in 2 weeks down Java. I hope this helped you. I hope this inspired you to get out there and maybe explore a part of the world that you haven't explored. Don't forget to check out my travel vlogs for my time spent in Java. They'll be linked in the description, so you can go check those out. Don't forget to follow the journey here on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. All my links are on the screen now. All the other stuff that YouTubers tell you to do, and I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to take the shot. Peace.